In the heart of the southern United States lies North Carolina, a state steeped in history and known for its conservative values. Once the birthplace of country blues and home to the Cherokee Indians, North Carolina has transformed into a prosperous state with a relatively peaceful atmosphere. Unlike its neighboring state, South Carolina, crime is uncommon in North Carolina. When it does make headlines, it's often due to severe weather events like snowstorms, tornadoes, and thunderstorms. The coast, with its tropical storms and flooding, and the dense wildlife refuges with the risk of wildfires and landslides, pose more danger than people. But sometimes, the peace is shattered by a chilling crime that shakes the community to its core. In a small town called Deep Gap, nestled amidst the rolling hills of North Carolina, lived the Boras family. Jeffrey and Tanya Boras, devout followers of the conservative PIST Bible Fellowship Church, raised their 8 children in a strict religious environment. The family's life revolved around their faith, with a strong emphasis on personal piety and a constant sense of being under God's watchful eye. Tristan, the youngest of the Boras children, grew up in an atmosphere of love and discipline. He shared a special bond with his older sister Taylor, who became his closest friend despite their age difference. Together, they played sports, enjoyed music, and shared secrets. The Boras family was known for their harmonious atmosphere and strong family values. However, as Tristan grew older, he began to question the strict religious beliefs and rules that governed his life. He yearned for more freedom and independence, especially in the digital age where his peers were embracing social media and exploring the world beyond their small town. This growing conflict between Tristan's desires and his family's expectations would eventually lead to a tragic turn of events. In 2015, Taylor graduated from high school and moved away to attend college, leaving Tristan feeling lonely and isolated. He struggled to adjust to the changes and felt like he was losing his only confidant. The move to Deep Gap brought further challenges for Tristan. He had to change schools and make new friends, all while dealing with the emotional turmoil of his sister's absence. Tristan's world was turned upside down when his beloved sister Taylor left for college. He felt a profound sense of loneliness and isolation, as if a part of him had been taken away. Taylor had been his confidant, his partner in crime, and his unwavering support. Without her, he felt lost and alone. As Tristan entered high school, his struggles intensified. He clashed with his parents over their strict rules, particularly their prohibition on cell phones and social media. He yearned to connect with his peers and explore the digital world that seemed to be passing him by. The lack of freedom and independence made him feel suffocated and resentful. In an attempt to escape the confines of his family's expectations, Tristan began to rebel. He spent excessive time on the internet, immersing himself in online games and social media platforms. He also started experimenting with forbidden substances, seeking solace and a sense of belonging in the shadows. In 2017, the Boras family made a fresh start by moving to a new house in Deep Gap. Tristan had to change schools and adjust to a new environment, adding to his already overwhelming challenges. While the move brought some initial excitement, Tristan soon found himself struggling to fit in. He missed his old friends and felt like an outsider in his new school. Despite his academic struggles and emotional turmoil, Tristan tried to maintain a semblance of normalcy. He participated in school activities and even joined the track and field team. However, his inner turmoil continued to escalate, and he found it increasingly difficult to cope with the pressure and expectations placed upon him. As Tristan's behavior became more erratic and unpredictable, his parents grew increasingly concerned. They sought professional help, hoping to understand and address the underlying issues fueling his struggles. Little did they know that the darkness lurking within Tristan's heart would soon manifest in a horrifying and unimaginable way. His once bright eyes now held a dark and brooding intensity. At school, Tristan's academic performance plummeted. He lost interest in his studies and often skipped classes. Amidst the turmoil at home and school, Tristan found solace in an unexpected place. He met Evelyn Faith Jackson, a girl from the religious community, and they began dating. Evelyn seemed to understand Tristan's struggles, and they formed a bond based on shared beliefs and experiences. However, Tristan's relationship with Evelyn was not without its complications. They often engaged in risky behaviors, including experimenting with illegal substances. Tristan also confided in Evelyn about his frustrations with his parents, and his desire to break free from their strict rules. On April 10, 2019, the carefully constructed facade of Tristan's life came crashing down. His mother, Tanya, discovered his old cell phone and found disturbing text messages that revealed his secret life of sexual encounters and drug use. Shocked and heartbroken, Tanya confronted Tristan about his behavior. A heated argument ensued between Tristan and his parents. They tried to reason with him, urging him to seek help and change his ways. But Tristan, fueled by anger and resentment, refused to listen. The confrontation escalated, and in a moment of desperation, Tristan lashed out. In the aftermath of the fateful confrontation on April 10, 2019, a wave of horror and disbelief washed over the Boras family and the small town of Deep Gap. As the sun rose on that tragic day, the gruesome discovery of Jeffrey Boras's body sent shockwaves through the community. Police officers, responding to a frantic call from Tristan's grandmother, arrived at the Boras' residence to find a scene of unspeakable violence. A trail of blood led from the front door to the backyard, where Jeffrey's lifeless body lay hidden beneath a hammock. He had suffered multiple stab wounds, a grim testament to the brutality of the attack. As the investigation unfolded, detectives uncovered more disturbing evidence. Surveillance footage from cameras installed on the property captured the chilling sequence of events that led to the tragedy. The footage showed Tristan arguing with his parents inside the house. The argument quickly escalated, and Tristan was seen grabbing a knife from the kitchen counter. In a fit of rage, Tristan lunged at his father, stabbing him repeatedly. Jeffrey tried to defend himself, but he was overpowered by his son's frenzied attack. The footage then showed Tristan dragging his father's body out of the house and concealing it under the hammock. Forensic analysis of the crime scene further contradicted Tristan's claims of self-defense. Bloodstain patterns and the location of the wounds indicated that Jeffrey was likely trying to shield himself from the attack. Additionally, there was no evidence to support Tristan's assertion that his mother had attacked him first. The investigation revealed a complex and disturbing portrait of Tristan Boras. Far from being the victim he portrayed himself to be, he was a troubled young man capable of unspeakable violence. The evidence painted a picture of a calculated and cold-blooded killer who had meticulously planned and executed the murders of his parents. As the truth emerged, the community reeled in shock and sorrow. The Boras family, once held up as a shining example of Christian values, had been torn apart by a senseless tragedy. The once peaceful town of Deep Gap was left to grapple with the aftermath of a horrific crime that shattered their sense of security. In the wake of the tragic events in Deep Gap, the wheels of justice began to turn. Tristan Boras, the young man accused of murdering his parents, found himself at the center of a highly publicized trial that gripped the nation. After a brief attempt to flee, Tristan was apprehended by law enforcement and extradited back to North Carolina to face charges. The prosecution wasted no time in building their case against him, obtaining search warrants and meticulously collecting evidence from the crime scene and Tristan's electronic devices. As the trial date approached, the small town of Deep Gap was abuzz with anticipation and anxiety. Residents followed the proceedings closely, eager to see justice served for the Boras family. The trial itself was a riveting spectacle, filled with dramatic twists and turns. The prosecution presented a compelling case against Tristan, laying out the evidence that painted a picture of a calculated and cold-blooded killer. They called witnesses, including law enforcement officers, forensic experts, and Tristan's own family members, who testified to his troubled behavior and the events leading up to the murders. Tristan's defense team, while acknowledging his troubled past, argued that he acted in self-defense. They presented evidence of Tristan's mental health struggles and his difficult upbringing, attempting to paint a sympathetic picture of a young man who had snapped under pressure. The jury, after careful deliberation, rejected Tristan's self-defense claim and found him guilty of 2 counts of first-degree murder. The courtroom erupted in a mix of gasps and sobs as the verdict was read. Tristan's family members, who had stood by him throughout the trial, were visibly distraught. At the sentencing hearing, Judge Horn, citing the heinous nature of the crimes and the lack of remorse shown by Tristan, sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentence brought a sense of closure to the Boras family and the Deep Gap community, who had been seeking justice for the senseless loss of two beloved members. The trial of Tristan Boras served as a stark reminder of the dark side that can lurk beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary lives. It also highlighted the importance of addressing mental health issues and providing troubled individuals with the support they need before tragedy strikes. In the aftermath of the trial, the Boras family was left to grapple with the unimaginable pain and devastation caused by Tristan's actions. They struggled to come to terms with the fact that their beloved son and brother had committed such a heinous crime. Tristan's siblings, who had once looked up to him, now felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and profound grief. They could not understand how the brother they had grown up with could have been capable of such violence. The family made the difficult decision to cut off all contact with Tristan, hoping to find some semblance of peace and closure. Don't hesitate to let me know your thoughts about this story in the comments section, and please to like and subscribe. This will help my channel to grow. Thank you for watching.